Hello, everybody. Andy Jacob here with the DotCom Magazine Entrepreneur Spotlight Series. I have a great show today. I've been very excited to have our two guests on the show today because what they're doing is really remarkable. If you watch the show religiously, which we hope you do, we know that we talk about entrepreneurship and we love people that have great companies. And those companies can be in any vertical, any space, and product companies, people that sell something that's unique or interesting or powerful to their clients, and they have a great customer service opportunity as well, are always fascinating to us at DotCom Magazine. So we've been able to invite Mr. Jeremy Shepard, and Jeremy is the founder and CEO of Pearl Paradise. Wait to hear what he does. His background and experience is amazing. They really are leaders throughout the world. And of course, his wife, Hisano Shepard, is on the show from their new virtual studio that we're going to get into a little bit. She's the chief creative officer. And what they're doing in the Pearl industry is making a lot of waves. A lot of people love their product. They shop all around the world together. I mean, they have a great and unique story. It's a great entrepreneurial love story. Before we get started, Jeremy, welcome to the DotCom Magazine Entrepreneur Spotlight Series.
Thank you, Andy. I appreciate it. It's great to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you as well. We'll get to Hisano in just a minute, Jeremy. But before we get started, let's pull the lens back to 30,000 feet. Tell us about what you do at Pearl Paradise, and then we're going to get into it.
Wow, 30,000 feet. It's kind of interesting you say that because I got into Pearl Paradise, or into Pearls actually, as a flight attendant. I was a flight attendant for Northwest Airlines about 25 years ago and stumbled into this business. Today, I am the CEO. I'm the founder, CEO. I'm still very involved in the company. I spend most of my time working with the Pearls directly. I still travel around the world. Hisano and I travel together. China, Hong Kong, Japan, Tahiti, Indonesia, you name it. The best part of the job for sure, traveling around the world and buying pearls and bringing them back to the United States. Otherwise, I'm in the office every day. I've got a great team here. Hisano manages most of the day-to-day production team, et cetera. And I'm still very involved in the marketing and strategy and website development.
Yeah, I love it so much. And you've really made a big name for yourselves, you know, with this fair and transparent pricing that you have. The quality is unparalleled. All of the pearls are hand selected. Of course, you offer the free shipping and returns, and you really have a satisfaction guarantee in your business model. And that's sort of a unique selling proposition in the jewelry space, especially the pearl space. Hisano, let's turn to you. Welcome to the DotCom Magazine Entrepreneur Spotlight Series.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
It's great to have you. Of course, you're the chief creative officer. You get to go on the buying trips as well. You're actually speaking to us at your new virtual studio, which we're going to get into in just a minute. But before we do, Hisano, tell us what you do at the company and how it's such a great match working with Jeremy.
Yeah, of course. My background is jewelry making. So I've been making jewelry as a young child, always been fascinated with making. And when I joined the company, I started making stringer. As a stringer, I made a lot of pearl jewelry. I worked with the designing team as well. And right now I work a lot with customers, with the virtual appointments, also with in-house appointments. I buy all the pearls with Jeremy, so I know exactly what we have in the inventory to show what the customer is looking for. So it's been a true joy and fun to be able to do a matchmaking with the customer and the pearls.
Wow, I love it so much. And we're going to talk about the virtual studio. Maybe you'll give us a little spin through it in just a minute. But Jeremy, I mean, here we are. I mean, you just don't speak English. I mean, you speak Japanese and Spanish and a number of other dialects. So that must come in very handy when you're going in through all the countries to hand select the pearls and to look for the best pearls that you possibly can. My wife and I looked at the pearls on the website. They're absolutely beautiful. Jeremy, how important is it to be able to speak a language, maybe in the language of one of your sellers? Does that help in your transactional protocol?
You know, it's pretty much the basis of the entire business. When I was a flight attendant, back 25 years ago, I started this business by, traveling to Japan, traveling to China, and dealing with producers and traders in pearls in these foreign countries. And most of these people don't speak English, or their English is relatively limited. So from the beginning, Japanese has been very important. I was Berlitz trained in Mandarin Chinese as well, a very specialized course that was designed just for me, specifically to purchase pearls. It's important because the only way you can genuinely buy pearls and get the value and exactly what it is you need to buy is by having relationships with the people who are growing the pearls. And these people are, of course, all overseas. And the reason is because pearls aren't like diamonds. I would say probably one of the biggest mistakes people make when they decide they're going to go out and buy pearls is they just automatically assume pearls are like diamonds, and that here's a grade, they must be exactly the same. Diamonds are cut, shaped, polished. And so if you've got one grade of diamond here and one grade of diamond there, they're exactly identical. It's a big misnomer with pearls. It's just not the case with pearls at all. Pearls have no internationally recognized grading system at all. So what that means is a pearl that's graded by AAA by one person might be graded A or AA or something completely different by another person. They may be completely different value, completely different quality products. And there's no way to know that. It all comes down to the relationships with who's growing them, who has access to the quality that you're looking for. And so without those relationships, we wouldn't be able to do what we do, especially during the pandemic. It would have been impossible. And without being able to communicate with our vendors in their language, we really wouldn't be able to have these relationships. And Hisano, of course, speaks perfectly fluent Japanese, so she fits right in. And so all of our business dealings are done in Japanese and Chinese.
Wow, I love it so much. Of course, I kind of think of you, Jeremy. I look at your background and experience. I call you Mr. Pearl. I mean, you own a pearl farm, you travel around, you know all the pearl farmers, you love it. You've been doing it for over 20 years. I mean, when we think about pearls, it's really about the relationship, the quality of the pearls, but the people behind it, the people that are sort of backing it and making the representations about the pearl, which is why you and Hisano have such a great reputation. Now, Hisano, you're in the virtual studio. I know that you handle a lot of the virtual meetings and also the in-person meetings. How important is the new virtual studio to what you're doing at Pearl Paradise?
It brings the pearls and the customers from all over the world, like really close, so they can have a very personal, intimate appointment at the comfort of their home. And I get to try it on for them so that they can see the scale, which is very important when there's so many size increments in the pearl strands or the pearl earrings. So I get to do that. And because we only work with pearls, we have the variety that I can show, side by side. And that also makes a huge difference in customers making their choices and feel very assured that they're also talking with a real human being. I think that's also a very important thing nowadays.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes all the sense in the world, Hisano. Through your virtual studio, can you also show some photos and some pictures of the inventory and things like that? And if you can, maybe you could show us an example.
Absolutely. I'll switch my camera right now.
Okay. Wow, beautiful strands.
Yeah, and I can show with my hands. And, this is showing 3 different types of the qualities. So it's the same Japanese saltwater Akoya pearls, but it's showing the different grading system that we have. So the 2 strands in the front that you're seeing is our highest quality Hanadamas. This is our mid-tier AAA quality. This is our AA plus quality. And because I get to show them personally, I get to show them what the differences are very, very close, and have the customer pick what would be the best strand for them.
Yeah, I can see that being so interesting for your clients and so important for your clients, of course, to be able to see the difference and have an expert like you, Hisano, to be able to explain it and bring it up close and personal like you're doing right now. I mean, wow, those are absolutely gorgeous. So let me ask you a question, Jeremy, bounce back to you just for a minute. Do you remember when you purchased those pearls that Hisano is showing right now, or is it kind of a blur at this point?
Well, we go through a lot of pearls. The particular strands, I know the 2 strands closest to her for sure, because those are out of our last Hanadama purchase. But we typically have been traveling to Asia 3 times per year. And so we turn our inventory about 3 times per year and make big purchasing trips to Asia on a regular basis. Since the pandemic started, though, this has definitely thrown sort of a kink in the way we do business. Again, this comes down to the relationships, though, and why they've been so important, because the dealers, the farmers, the producers, the processors that we've been working with for the past 20 years, they know us so well that basically they just send us boxes of their entire inventory, and then we go through all their inventory and select the pearls. Hisano was talking about, these strands, like a few strands from Hanadama, AAA or AA plus. Those are just categories that are unique and specific to our company. It's basically like 3 quality grades that we accept, yet it's all subjective. So we may have to look through 300 or 400 strands that are all considered the same quality or considered the same product by a producer or a processor. But it's completely subjective since there are no internationally recognized grading systems in place. Everything in selection is subjective. So those particular strands are just strands that we selected from probably several hundred strands in the last couple of months. And every month we bring in, now we're bringing in another 500 to 1,000 different strands in all different sizes and varieties of pearls. So those particular strands in the back, I don't know those particular ones in the back, but I do know either they were selected by me personally or they were selected by Hisano.
That's amazing. Of course, when you buy from Pearl Paradise, you buy pearls directly that are hand selected from Mr. Pearl, of course, Jeremy and Hisano. Now, Hisano, let's go back to you just for a second. I'd like to do something a little bit fun right now. You had the beautiful virtual show of the pearls. Maybe just for my fun, because I love to have fun, of course, what I do as an entrepreneur as well. Maybe you could do 15 or 20 seconds in Japanese telling us about the pearls with the photo in front of you.
Oh, sure. Let me make it all nice first. はい。こちらの、アコヤ真珠は、7.75 ミリメートルでございます。で、これはとっても綺麗な白い、ボディのカラーがあり、花玉という、鑑定書がついておりますので、これは世界に一つだけ、鑑定書の番号がついていまして、とても特別な、真珠のレンとなっております。こちらのレンは、一連で、アメリカのインチですと、18インチのネックレスが作れることになります。
Wow, thank you, Hisano. And for the people watching the show, the virtual studio is set up remarkably well. I mean, I think I need to go talk to Hisano and Jeremy about a new studio for .com magazine. I mean, when she held up the pearls came into focus and Hisano went out of focus. I mean, what a brilliant studio you set up, Jeremy and Hisano, for your clients. Hisano, let's stay with you just for a minute, because we know that when someone buys pearls, they don't buy them once. I mean, they keep coming back for more, hopefully.
Yeah.
So who handles at the company the repeat customers that want to buy more? Is it you that get the call or the text or the email from your satisfied client saying, hey, Hisano, what do you have for us now?
Yeah, myself and our sales associates, we all have our clients that come to us. We are the go-to sales person for certain clients. So we'll have multiple virtual appointments, especially when their birthdays are coming soon, or anniversaries, of course, Mother's Day and Christmas holidays. So sometimes I'll be speaking to the client, or sometimes I'll be speaking to the client's husband or the partner, or sometimes I'll have the joy to be speaking with both of them. So it's really fun to see their pearl collection grow over time.
I love it. When you speak with a husband and wife team, who makes the final decision?
The husband.
Perfect.
And to my pleasant surprise, the husbands typically go for the higher price point, which is always, to me, it's like such a heartwarming time when I get to see that, and I see the surprised look on the wife's face, and like, wow, that's really beautiful.
I love it, Hisano. That's wonderful story. I'm not going to let my wife watch this interview, obviously. But no, I'm kidding. Hey, Jeremy, let's get back to the business, okay? Because here you are, you've got a great business. You have a great team. Hisano did mention about the sales associates and the associates on the team. How important is it to your company to build this team in a way that's meaningful so that your team members have the exact same passion that you and Hisano have to provide the highest quality, not only pearls, but customer service as well?
It is paramount. The team that we have, everybody who comes to our team, we have a very specific process that we take them through, not just a very involved interview process, but an education process as well. In the past, we had all new employees enroll in Gemological Institute of America, GIA's Pearls course. Now we have all new team members take the Cultured Pearl Association of America's Pearls course. It's actually a course that I personally wrote for the Cultured Pearl Association of America. And it's now the largest course in the world on pearls. It's had about 100,000 graduates, 100,000 students, I'm sorry, not all of them have graduated, that have taken the course, and it's in 10 languages. So before our team members even go face to face with anyone, they have that education, they have that certification, and then they spend a lot of time with us personally. In the past, we used to take each one of our team members to Asia with us on a buying trip, so they could genuinely understand, where the pearls came from, how the pearls are grown, how the pearls are processed, etc. That hasn't really been possible since the pandemic. But new team members, in fact, we have someone who just joined our team about a month ago, spend a long period of time, several weeks, working side by side with Hisano to completely understand the pearls. And it's so important. I can't stress it enough, because again, pearls are not diamonds, and there is no standard grading scale. You can't go to one company and learn about pearls and then think you can come to Pearl Paradise and offer the same pearls or sell our pearls or work with our customers, because every pearl company in the world has a different style of grading, a different style of selection. What I mean by that is, if you went to Pearl Company A and you bought a AA plus freshwater or a AA plus Akoya, and then came to Pearl Paradise and bought a AA plus Akoya, the difference could be the difference between a Lamborghini and a Pinto. The grades mean absolutely nothing. They really don't. They only mean something to the actual company that you're buying from. And so having that training and having everyone on the same page and understanding pearls the way we understand pearls is of paramount importance for everyone on our team. And so everyone who is customer facing has been trained by me and by Hisano personally, and everyone is a pearl expert.
Yeah, I love it. And of course, you visited pearl farms in multiple countries. I mean, you guided research teams through China, You founded the Pearl Guide. I mean, you've purchased an Asian pearl farm yourself. And of course, you were one of 3 people from the US that was invited to present at the World Pearl Forum in Dubai in the past.
You've done your homework.
Yeah, well, we think about the pearls, right? And we think about what you do, and we think about Hisano. It's a perfect combination. So you bring something to the table that's important. Hisano brings something to the table that's very important. And for the entrepreneurs watching the show, as people working in leadership, you don't really need 2 leaders that do exactly the same thing. You want one leader that does something really good and the other leader that does something really good. So you can kind of bring this great combination together. Now, Hisano, let me ask you, because you go to the pearl farms as well, are there certain countries that you find right now are producing the best pearls, or is it sort of they're the same throughout the world?
That would depend on the pearl farmers and the location and their sustainability, working with the body of water that they create the pearls in. So we have friends in the Philippines that put a lot of effort in having the water clean, teaching the farmers, fishermen, how to fish in the most sustainable way. So from their farm, they produce gorgeous golden South Sea pearls. We also have friends in French Polynesia where the atolls are beautiful and they create very colorful Tahitian pearls. We also have friends in Japan who are also caring for Mother Nature and trying their best to have the best of the best. So I believe that every country have a very unique way of creating beautiful pearls and in each pearl category.
I love it. Hisano, Jeremy, I'm going to bounce back to you because I do want to talk about sustainability. That's important. And of course, it's important to you. But let's talk about how important it is. Do you ever find a pearl farm where you say to yourselves, maybe they need to do a little bit better in the sustainability position before we start buying pearls from them?
Well, pearl farmers are environmentalists because they have to be. It's pretty rare when you see farms that would be practicing what we would call non-sustainable, or we would view as being non-sustainable practices. You'll see some of it in mainland China with some of the freshwater pearl production, but outside of that, as Hisano was saying, if the farmers don't take care of the farms and the waters and the ecosystem where they are, they don't have a business. And things like global warming and changes in water temperatures or changes in water depths or freshwater runoffs because of slash and burns, things like that really affect these farms. If there's something going wrong with the water, the oysters are the first ones to know. They live on a very delicate balance of water temperature, salinity, food source within the water. So pearl farmers are not only environmentalists, but they are the ones that are pushing for regulation, pushing for changes, governmental changes, et cetera, because they know absolutely if a factory were to open up, 20 miles up the coast or something like that started dumping in pollutants into the water, or even something as simple as like a shrimp growing operation that might dump a lot of pollutants into the water 20 miles up could actually devastate a farm. And pearl farms aren't like carrot farms, for example, where you plant them today and you're going to have, a few months later, you're going to have carrots you can harvest. No. You've got to find the location. You've got to grow out the spat or collect the shells. You've got to go through the implant process. You've got to wait for the pearls to grow. It can be, 10 years of investment, even longer, starting a pearl farm from the time you start a pearl farm until you harvest and sell your very first pearl. Anything can happen along those 10 plus years. And the only thing that is completely out of their control, well, there's several things that are out of their control, but the primary things that can be out of their control, Mother Nature and the environment. And so, choosing a place that's protected as much as possible in case of hurricanes and typhoons, That's how you counteract Mother Nature. The environment, the only thing you can really do is push for regulation, push for change, and protect the areas where the farms are located.
Wow, so delicate. And wow, your knowledge base is incredible. I mean, I love it. Now, I want to come back to you, Jeremy, talk about entrepreneurship. This half hour has gone very, very quickly, but it's just a fascinating subject, and what you've built at Pearl Paradise is remarkable. So before I jump back to you, Jeremy, Hisano, I want to thank you so much for bringing us inside the virtual studio. I mean, super cool technology. The way in which you help people is remarkable. The way in which you shared a little Japanese with us as well was super cool. And I wanted to thank you, Hisano, so much for coming on the .com Magazine Entrepreneur Spotlight Series today.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
It's a delight. Now, Jeremy, back to you. Let's talk entrepreneurship before I let you go. And I know I'm keeping you over a little bit. For the younger entrepreneurs watching the show that maybe are hitting a tough time, maybe they're hitting a wall, maybe they're freezing in the frame, do you have some recommendations or some positive thoughts you can give to the entrepreneurs watching the show that are maybe facing a challenging time in their business right now?
Wow. I would say all entrepreneurs face a challenging time in their business from time to time. I've been doing this for 25 years, and I've started several companies. I own two companies right now. And before I came into Pearls, I was sort of a serial entrepreneur. So I would definitely say it's in my blood. There are always ups and downs, no matter what, but we are always solely responsible. And that may sound light, but it's really not. We are solely responsible for ourselves. We are solely responsible for the way we think. We are solely responsible for the way we act. We're solely responsible for our way of being. And it takes courage. It takes absolute courage, and it takes faith. It takes determination to confront these issues, confront these challenges, and maintain just the confidence and the strength to keep going. You know, when something goes wrong, that feeling, that punch in the gut feeling, the first instinct for so many is to just say, I'm going to throw up my hands, I'm going to curl into a ball, or I'm going to go home and cry for 2 weeks, for 3 weeks, etc. You can't. You get up, you keep going, you put one foot in front of the other, and you just keep going. And I would say most important for entrepreneurs, and this is something I've seen a lot over the years. I was a member of the entrepreneur organization for over 10 years and worked with a lot of entrepreneurs there. I was also the ambassador for NIFTY, the Federation for Teaching Entrepreneurship for young people, and a member of Vistage for a number of years. And one of the things I see, and I've seen over the years, more than anything else, is the idea that never gets actually implemented. I actually bought something for a friend of mine once. It was a little incense stand made in the shape of a Nike logo. And the message was, just do it. And it doesn't matter how scary it is, just do it. If you don't do it, you'll never, ever know. And if you keep pushing it back, and I'm saying just do it without having a specific it, if you will, but there are tons of those its. I have lots of those its. I'm sure you have lots of those its. Everybody has those its. Just do it. Get up in the morning, look at what's on your plate, say, what is the most important 80% or even 20%? Focus on that and just do it.
I love it. I love it. Well, listen, you and Hisano are doing it. You continue to do it. You continue to make great strides in the pearl marketplace. The go-to company when you want the good pearls and you want the people that understand pearls as much as, of course, Jeremy and Hisano do. Reach out to them. This has been a fascinating interview, Jeremy, and I want to thank you so much for coming on the .com Magazine Entrepreneur Spotlight Series today.
Thank you, Andy. It's been a pleasure. I really appreciate it.